Welcome viewers to a quick test video. I am going to do hopefully I will be going to do a let's play of, as you can see right here, ShadowRun Returns. Now, I actually really love this game. I do have a couple extra things like the zombie outbreak and Decker demo downloaded, but just to start off, I will be, hopefully, I've sent out contacts to Harebrained Schemes to see if they will allow me to let's play Dead Man Switch, the original, and ShadowRun Returns Dragonfall. So, in the meantime, let's go on and launch Deckers. Might as well put it on very hard. I mean, fuck it. Why not? Give me a second. Okay. Well, I am a dude. However, I like playing female characters in this game. I don't know, they just look better. To me. I also prefer to play Deckers. Yeah, that looks good. Now, this right here, if you click it, it'll unlock the auto, which will allow you to change up the hairstyles and whatnot. I generally don't fap about with this. Continue to stats. Now, this is different than most games, is what I should say. Of course, like a lot of other stuff, depending on what class you play as and what race you play as, you'll have certain limitations. Like, as playing as an elf, I'm limited on how high I can bring the strength stat up to. Now, you see these things right here. Usually these will indicate something, like here, maximum for humans and elves. Whereas right here, additional weapon slot if you have not already unlocked it. Now, being that I'm a Decker, what I mostly play is a Decker-Rigger combo. That's generally what I tend to play as, and for the most part I like to start off by automatically bringing decking up to 3. That way, next, I can work on getting drone control up to 3, and in turn, get drone control there up to 3, and in turn be able to get over here, which doesn't really have anything super special, but once you get drone control up to 4, you can increase to holding 2 drones. That's pretty damn nice. Another good thing that you could potentially start out by doing is starting off right here, you see ranged combat. By, like the strength there, by ranking it up to 3, you get an extra weapon slot. Rank 4 is really nice. Overwatch. That's something quite good that'll happen later on. But, like I was saying, for the most part, I do a Decker-Rigger combo that dabbles a little bit in rifles. And occasionally pistols, but mostly in rifles. So, that's good enough for now. You know what? Shit. Right here, this will determine, during most games, you'll have certain options that will depend on what etiquette you choose. Corporate, security, gang, socialite, shadowrunner, street, and academic. I tend to just start off as a shadowrunner, and might as well go for the default name for all of my Shadowrun female characters, or for all of my female characters I make, Lady Rage. Let's continue. Now, once we get in, I'll explain something else. This is sort of just like a demo version, demo thing to start things off. Hopefully, I'll be able to do this and whatnot, so. His name is... Okay. Yeah, it's a good name. I don't care. A red gem? Really? I know what you're talking about. Alright, so as you can see, we've got a sort of isometric view. There are... Okay, yeah. Left click is what you use to move around and do actions, like say if you want to talk to this guy, just click on him and you'll talk to him again. If you right click, you can move the camera around. And apparently if you click on yourself in this, you get 2 new yens. That's what the money or currency is in the Shadow Realm world. Click on the arrow here, and it will center your camera again. Alright, so what I was going to show off. Coming back in here, you'll notice spend karma. Karma is essentially your experience of the game. There's a lot of stuff that you can spend it on, and if you've got it set up like I do, where you can transfer your character from one game to another, you can end up basically maxing everything out and making your character a god. We do have this guy as a party member, who is apparently also a Decker. And let's go back into the karma screen. Up here, if you click on these, it'll quick take you to the next things. I only came down here to intellect. However, there are 2 things below that I generally don't actually use. Willpower, which is used for spell casting, basically. If you're a spellcaster, then hey, more power to you. I'm not generally a spellcaster, though. And charisma. Now, I do put points into charisma, but that's because charisma... Not because of the spirit summoning and whatnot, but in charisma, once you reach certain levels, you can learn a new etiquette, maxing out at all but one etiquette that you can learn. So yeah, charisma, pretty damn nice if you want to increase your experience and whatnot from games that you play. Alright, let's see if we can't get into a battle. What do we got in here? Nothing. Still nothing. Now, a quick thing of note, notice here, we had some icons that showed up. Yeah, these icons indicate search, pick up, and there are a few other icons that we have yet to see. So let's go on and not pick up this, apparently. Fine, let's go pick up this. Level 2 employee keycard, apparently. But there are a few things that we have yet to see in the way of icons. There's one to indicate things that you can jack into. As a Decker, you can jack into stuff like computers and hack them. It's one reason why I like being a Decker. It's more experience for your buck. Alright, so we picked up a bunch of items there. If we come back into here and click on the weapon satchel thing, or the weapon holster thing, we'll see our equipment. We've got a Decker clothing. This, depending on what you choose as your starter class, will determine what armor you start off with. Since I chose Decker, we start off with Decker clothing. Also, no weapons, and you're supposed to start off with a Decker board, but we don't have any of that. Anyways, I also picked up a couple med kits. The Dock Wagon Basic Trauma Kit. This will revive you if you or your teammate gets dropped. And a grenade. Cyberware. As a Decker, we automatically start off with a data jack. This is what allows us to jack into computers and whatnot. Now, if you're playing a spellcaster, you can't really get cyberware because it will reduce the effectiveness of your spells. Ooh, a door. Door. And there's fuck all in here. Alright, this way. Now, of course, as you may have noticed, viewers, our little ally here is kind of following us around. Yes, the allies in the game do follow you pretty closely. However, if you've got increased agility, you can make them fall behind you, and be careful when coming up to things like doors. Everything will pause for half a second, and if there's a scheduled encounter or rigged encounter with enemies past a door, your ally here may be a move or two just far enough back to where you can't have them join into the battle immediately. And that can fuck you over in later parts of certain games. And now we're into a battle section. Now, if you don't want to take somebody's turn immediately, you can click up here to the next screen. Because I don't have any weapons, I want to go on and move out this guy first. Alright, let's move you over here. I really don't want to have Lady Rage do any battling at the moment. If you don't want somebody to take a turn, you can just hit end and it'll automatically end your movement turns. Yeah, I'm not going to fall for that trap. Let's go on and have this guy come back here, because it's almost guaranteed that there's going to be an enemy in there. Should have figured as much. End. Yeah, if you don't have any enemies around, this is a pretty decent way to make sure you don't get ambushed. Like, say, if you start off and they don't give you a weapon like they did in here. Alright, so I can finally talk about this. Signs like this indicate things you can jack into. Let's go on and get Lady Rage in here, because somehow I think somebody's going to be coming up behind me. Alright, so if you notice, he starts off with programs and ESPs. These are basically extra attack programs. Firewall will reduce... you know what, it'll just be easier to show you. And just in turn. Alright, so we're in here. We can summon up a shield ESP, use suppression, which will reduce this right here. Only by a little bit, though. See, it only reduced it by a little bit. Firewall will deal damage. Medic will heal you, of course, and don't really like using Sniffer. Alright, so let's get to moving. We see our first enemy, the White Ice. Let's go on and pop this here, 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 and here. Now, that percentage over its target indicates whether or not, or how nice. That percentage will indicate how often, or how accurate your attack will be. If you notice, it only says 57% there. So that 57%... Hello. Well, I bet that's not going to be a block character in the least. Let's go on and pull out a shield program. Now, your main objective when getting into these decking sections is to get to these nodes, basically, activate them and whatnot. Certain program types will actually give you different abilities, like the shield program here, when used, will give us a boost to our defense. Hello. And we see a white sparky ice. Yeah, that's gonna be worthless. Hey, it actually hit. Oh, bugger. Did not mean to actually run so close to him. Oh well. The white sparky ice, not actually all that dangerous of an enemy. In turn, because for the first 2 turns that it is close enough to deal combat damage, it'll waste it by charging. And it really doesn't have that much health, so if you can get... So if you can get up to it and take it out... Oh boy. Yeah. If you take too long or activate an alarm, black ice enemies will start appearing. You don't want to deal with those guys. At least not yet. I'm gonna move right here. Now, if somebody's jacked in and you use the eject looking button, that'll automatically waste the rest of his turn and most likely will cause damage to your character or whoever's jacking or decking or whatever, and cause them to not be able to move or attack for a couple turns. Generally, it's not advised to just pull out without actually getting to the exit node. Let's go on and have you open the door, where we see some goddamn enemies. Combat! Get you moved here. You moved here. And son of a bitch. Alright. Grab that. Now we can do one of 2 things. We can either add the item to your stash, or leave it alone. I'll go on and just add it to my stash. Now, adding it to your stash doesn't actually add it to your inventory. That's something to keep in mind. And that's a nasty bit that comes with shotguns. Shotguns can be kind of nasty. Alright, so let's go on and do that. Now, if you notice, he's got 76% chance of actually hitting him. And then it went down to 61, but it was enough to actually take him out. You gotta be kind of careful here, apparently, because I've got no fucking money whatsoever. I want to do that. Yeah, some games are kind of glitchy, or some maps that people make are kind of glitchy because they don't have it, like, set up right where you can, oh. They don't have it set up right where you can... Did you just come up to me and punch me? You're a bitch. How about I punch you back? How about I punch you back? Ah, missed. Oh well. Meh. Now, certain weapons will, of course, have a better chance of hitting them. Melee is generally not advised to try and go with, mostly because of how inaccurate it is. Oh, nice. Anyways, like I was saying, melee is generally not advised to actually go for with how inaccurate it is. Go on and leave it alone. Because I can come in here and have you use that on yourself. And then grab it. Also grenade. I'll go on and edit to stash. And have you come over here. Crowbar. Why not? There's nothing in there. Well, seems like I cleared this place pretty damn well out. Might as well just leave. Oops. Somehow I managed to pull up the wrong, or somehow I managed to right-click in game. Weird. Alright, so before I end this recording session, let's go on and get Lady Rage over here and ready. Okay, that's just gonna take one, so we'll move up one, and you see right here, the icon, depending on how full it is, determines how much ammo it has left. You can waste your turn to reload it. And there we go. So I think that should be good enough for a quick test video. We'll see y'all, hopefully, if I get the okay to let's play this. Cheers!